And we are live. I don't see anybody in here yet, though.
Tell Fanny to hurry up.
Yes, yeah, I do see anybody. It says 0 on the number.
I can't even log in.
You know what I just noticed? All three of us buy every hour on the hour, huh?
Normally, yes.
Oh, you paused yours, right?
All three of us buy.
Whoop, sorry. Yeah, I paused it because I bought that for this. Just for one paycheck, I paused it.
Yeah. So when you get back on it, does it mean you have to pay those freaking fees?
No, Strike lets you now pause and then resume when you come back, and you just like you never left.
Nice. I'm here, fool. Hey, fellas. Vic Shoots, what's up, bro? Fanny, how are you, ma'am? Long time no see, Fanny. Hey, fellas. I think we have Vic Shoots in the house, Fanny, and I think Trent is in the house as well on his phone.
Yeah.
I think that's our three people. Fanny said, I know, right? Happy Mother's Day, Fanny. Crazy, right?
Every view helps.
We are definitely here for a good time.
And a great time, sir.
Spend the day at the nursing home, really. Yeah, you guys should have seen what I was doing before, about 5 minutes before we started this show. When I tell you I was chilling, they know. How do we share this? Can you upload it to Signal? Sure. Happy Mother's Day, Fanny Packer. That's right, Fanny. Somebody's in here not saying anything. Somebody's ghost watching.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, and Trent's not saying anything. Trent, come on, you gotta say something, bro. You gonna say something in the comments or what?
Can I actually comment in? Again, I joined the chat.
Of course.
I'm talking from the StreamYard.
Thanks, Vic. Hello, everyone. Same to your wife. Yes. Lauren Stern, how are you, sir? Good, buddy. Make sure we send it to everyone. Jerry is live. Well, how about the Truth of Work is live? Vanny? Jerry is not live. The Truth of Work is live. This ain't about Jerry. I'm just here to see what's up. Oh, we went from 3 to 9. I've done. Have I done that? I don't.
People are waking up.
We went to 3 to 9 real quick.
We like that.
9, but same to your wife. Oh, we're back down to 8. Well, 8. It's respectable, right?
This backpacker didn't shave.
Don't see him on Rumble. I'm not on. We're not on Rumble. I didn't do on Rumble. So we still got to figure this Truth of Work podcast channel live still.
Yeah, it functions. I went live a couple weeks ago just to test it.
On our okay, good. Must be
not through StreamYard, obviously.
Yeah, it must be my dumbass.
The channel itself does function.
Okay,
hey,
good.
Dude. What's up, Lauren?
Well, to be honest, I didn't try it this week, so there's that.
But this week, last week, week before.
But don't tell anybody though.
I won't.
Okay. What up, Trent? I asked Trent before the show started. I said, "Hey, Trent, did you?" I said something to the effect, "Did you miss us when we were on live?" He goes, "I didn't give a shit. I wasn't watching." I said,
honestly, don't watch a single video.
One thing about Trent, he ain't sugarcoating that.
I watched.
He's getting that money though.
I watched your Satoshi Saturday this morning. It was good.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Are you wearing pants, Jerry and Trent?
I am.
If I stand up right now, the whole room's gonna get dark. You ready?
Let's do it.
You guys ready?
Viewers just went up. We got more viewers.
Oh man, Vanny. You still don't get it, do you, huh? This ain't about the Jerry, bro. Yeah, it ain't about the Jerry, bro. They don't get it, Fanny. They don't get it, Vic. Fanny don't get it. It has nothing to do with me. So, anyways, guys, we're back. Truth to Work podcast. Scheduling situations have been situating, and now we're back in the saddle. It's good to see everybody. Thank you guys for being here. We'll start off with Backpacker. Backpacker, how's your week been? How's your last 3 weeks been? How you been, brother?
This last week's been good getting back into the swing of things, but man, I'm gonna tell you what, that conference was lit. Now the misconception was that you're there for the conference, but we just utilized it as a tool to have a meetup and to network, and that was really cool. That was good. It was an eye opener, and it's true what people said about it being the shit coin, and everybody trying to sell their products and stuff. But if you push that aside, it was fantastic. It was great. Met some very, very, very wonderful people.
Nice. And Trent, how was your last 3 weeks?
I have been working a ton. Technical difficulties today with the PC, so we're on the laptop. Just trying to stay sane out here, I guess.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
It's hard to stay sane in a crazy world. But this is why we always come together, guys, right? We come together on, Backpackers channel, BTC Backpackers channel, Trent's channel, the Bitcoin Technician.
Yeah, Fanny, I did fall off a ladder on Wednesday.
What?
Yeah, I fell about 10 feet.
Well, you didn't put that in your monologue, sir. I think that should have been in there, right? Backpackers pulling the whole Kevin O'Leary thing. Yes, no pants. Trent falling off a ladder, maybe. Wow. Tell us about that, man.
I was just doing something I've done 100,000 times. I put the ladder up over there's like a strand with steel that you have hooks you can hook over. I climbed up the ladder just fine. No, I went up there. I needed to get something from my bag on the ground. I started climbing back down, and the whole ladder just slid all the way down the strand. And I had to decide either jump at 10 feet or ride it. And I didn't want the ladder to fall on me, so I jumped.
So it was sliding like to the right?
Yeah, so it's like a strand from a pole to a pole. So there's a natural sag in the wire. So it wanted to go down the sag, and I didn't know if it was going to catch me once it got to here, So I was just like, honestly, it was just instincts. I just jumped.
Wow. What did you land on? Trent.
Oh, sorry, it's a stupid mic.
That's okay.
I landed on River Rock. It wasn't great.
Did you land straight on your feet, or?
Yes. Yep. On my feet. It was fine. I didn't feel bad that day. Sore for the next few. I think it's just working its way out.
Wow. So it could have been worse. Well, thank God you're okay, man. Too much Red Bull. Trent pulling the whole Clark Griswold Christmas lights fall.
Oh yeah, don't tell my boss.
And if you had Red Bull, you would have flew. So
I didn't. I started taking Red Bull the next day
because it gives you wings.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't know.
The show.
Yeah, it gives you wings, bro. Yeah, we need a sponsorship from them, and no video either. Yes, no video. That's right. Vic, haha. My week, guys, was my last 3 weeks. Is you already know because you've been here with me every day. We've been just chilling. We've been hanging out, man. And again, it's hard to be sane and navigate in the crazy world that we're in. But we're here, man. But we don't really have nothing to talk about like specifically. We're just gonna shoot the what, and hopefully you guys can shoot it with us. I'm pretty good at shooting it. These two guys are pretty good at shooting it. So we're gonna shoot it and see if we can hit the target. But I have a question because I haven't caught up with this. Anybody, whether it's Anthony, Trent, or anybody in the comments, and you were talking about it too, Anthony, so you can take it away on this one. What the hell is going on in the war, in the situation with the Strait of Hormuz and everything else?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we've been talking about like, hopefully this doesn't carry out to the midterms. I think it's going to carry to the midterms. I do. I genuinely do. Now what level it'll be at, we don't know, but it's going to take time to pull out of there if that's what's going to happen. However, I do see that there's been a shift. I feel as though there's been a shift into the mass weapons of mass destruction, the uranium. I think it's really just turned into this whole Hormuz game. Like Hormuz is the play, and the thing is like all the stuff that they're trying to negotiate. We knew from the beginning that none of it was going to get negotiated because the stuff they were asking for was extremely radical. Like, you can't have war with us in 20 years. There's just these demands that other presidents maybe would take, but we knew that Trump was never going to take. So I guess like we knew that this was going to be the play. It does feel like the can's getting kicked down the road, and the play that they've done in the past in history, Iran, the IRGC in particular, is they've always done this. Let's just ride this term out in the United States so we can go to the next term or hopefully get a Democrat in office. Right. And that's I think that's what because that's what they've done for that many years. I don't buy for a second that Trump doesn't know that. And there's a lot of stuff that they know that we don't know that's only privileged to obvious reasons for security, international security, and stuff like that. But I think the Strait of Hormuz is kind of gonna be that central focus point, because that's gonna allow a lot of control, a lot of money. You're gonna financially choke them out, but it's also like poking the bear, because we're gonna go in there and they're still bombing people. Anyways, the UAE got bombed, the Saudis, they're all getting bombed regardless, even though we're not directly going at it. So they're testing the waters. Now, we know Trump plays 4D chess, and so he's doing everything for a reason. He's saying, I gave you X amount of chances. Because when you're on the world stage and you just go in there and you just start doing stuff and you didn't even try diplomatic talks, you didn't try trade negotiations, you didn't try that can come off as a little extreme. I would respectfully say so. But he's doing all this for a reason. Now, how it's going to play out, none of us know. It's all pure speculation. But the Strait of Hormuz is the call. I think that's the game that's being played right now. And being able to control that oil and control that's a powerful thing. And I think that's where we're going.
Well said, sir. Have you been paying attention at all, Trent? Or no?
I've not been paying attention overseas wise, but I think I can speak on the local side that we need to figure this $4 a gallon gas price out, because there's no reason when we produce this much oil domestically that we should be sitting at $4.30 a gallon. Filled up my truck for $130 last week. That's absurd. There's no reason. If we're exporting oil out to Europe and, all these other countries, stop exporting it, get that price low domestically, then you can export your surplus. But they won't, because it's a private company and all that crap. But
yeah, I completely agree. I wish there was a way we can just get rid of the global market and, like you said, just keep it here domestically. Stop exporting it. Because we do have a surplus, obviously. Yeah. And just freaking say, you know what? Screw you guys, because we don't need the strait. There's nothing, we don't need it, and the people that need it didn't want to fucking help us with it. Pardon my French.
Yeah, Kevin, Vic, I know 430's not California prices,
right? Kevin, what's good, brother? How are you, man? Good to see you, man. We are there for the long run. I hope not, man. But yeah, I hope you. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah. Again, Trump has to do the things that a lot of presidents don't want to do. We don't know the actual outcome of what it's going to be until the outcome is there. And I was wrong. I thought it was going to be 90 days. I think we're headed into the 11th week. I think this is something like that. So I don't know. We don't need the strait directly, but we are choking the supply, so they buy oil from us. Yes. $4.30. That's cheap. Yeah, that's definitely cheap here in Vegas and definitely in California. But in Minnesota, it's not, right?
No, we usually sit in the $2.30 range.
Wow. What are you guys right now, Anthony? And in the chat, by the way, let me know what you're playing right now. Average price in your city. What are you paying at?
I think we're like 435.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of like a professional. I'm kind of like a professional driver, so I kind of like know where the low ones are. So I try to get to the lower ones. But yeah. Now, have you guys been paying attention at all to the stuff situation with Michael Saylor talking about never sell your Bitcoin? Oh, by the way, we're going to sell our Bitcoin. What do you
I
what do you
got
guys
the
thoughts on that?
highlights on it. I didn't dig into it.
Well, he actually responded to that. I have a clip. He actually did an interview, I think, yesterday or the day before. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but he definitely responded to it. If you guys want to check that out, we can. But what are your thoughts on that, guys? Before we look at that clip, what do you think, Anthony?
I think it's different from corporations to retail investors. And I think that the moves they make are different than the moves we would make as such a smaller fraction in regards to like an individual holder. So I think they're just doing what they need to do to possibly be sustainable. Maybe they need to sell some off. I mean, they can do that. They're in a position that they have so much they can play that game of we're gonna dump off a little, then we're gonna buy. But that's the only take I can. That's the only thing I can see on that. Because it is counter to what he says about you don't ever sell it. So
yeah, for the record, I've only saw one short on it, and it was basically him talking about to cover those stretch dividends. And basically, like, yeah, we'll sell some Bitcoin to cover the dividends. Obviously, you need to pay your investor out. And if you only have one thing to do that process, and that is to sell Bitcoin at a high, which who doesn't do that? Like, besides us crazy people with diamond hands, but like a normie, they do it all the time in their IRA and stuff. It's just economics. Sell high or sell high, buy low.
Yep, economics 101/AB. True. Well, I think he's defending himself, and we're going to play a little bit of this. It's 26 minutes. We're not going to play the whole thing, but he's basically saying, "Hey, when I said don't sell your Bitcoin, don't sell it at a loss. Sell it and get that and buy more." I guess he's saying. So let's see what he has to say, because again, the internet went on fire when he said that. So let's check it out.
Even if we were to sell one Bitcoin, we'd be buying 10 to 20 more Bitcoin. I'm very famous for saying never sell your Bitcoin. And that's why the internet went crazy when we said we might sell it. Peter thinks Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme. Peter is not really a lover of anything in this space.
We're very pleased to be co-hosting this exciting interview with Executive Chairman of Strategy, Michael Saylor. Co-hosting with me is
Bonnie Chang.
And we're going to kick it off with some recent news coming out of Strategy's own announcement and Michael Saylor's announcement on social media. Take it away, Bonnie.
Something happened 19 hours ago, and that shocked the internet. What was it?
It's probably you're referring to our earnings call where we announced that we're prepared to sell Bitcoin to fund our stretch dividends if need be.
And I'm sure that was a very well thought through pivot. What is the idea behind it?
The most important thing is we want the market to understand that Bitcoin capital gains fund stretch credit dividends. So when we sell STRC credit, we sell $1 million of it. We turn around, we buy $1 million of Bitcoin. We expect Bitcoin to appreciate about 30% a year. It's been appreciating almost 40% a year. We strip the first 11% of that capital gain, and we pay that as a credit dividend. But there's been a bit of confusion in the market about where the dividends come from. How do we pay the dividend? And for most of the history of the instrument, we sold common equity, MSTR equity, to pay the dividend. MSTR equity is a derivative of Bitcoin. It normally trades at a premium to Bitcoin. And so we were selling a Bitcoin derivative, but some people worried that we wouldn't be able to sell the equity in the future. And then there are short narratives that we have to sell the equity. And then there are other narratives that the company won't sell its Bitcoin. And that kind of metastasized to, well, if they're not going to sell their Bitcoin, it must not have any value, and they can never sell it. And if they can't sell it, then we can't count the Bitcoin as an asset on the balance sheet. So if you had $65 billion worth of something and people wanted to value it at zero, it's not very good, right? We don't want the credit rating agencies to think the company has $0 of assets. We want the credit rating agencies to think we have $65 billion of assets. And, there are also trolls on the internet that continually complain that this is a Ponzi scheme because we sell equity in order to fund a preferred dividend. Well, what we want to do is we want to reinforce the business model is we sell credit to make a capital investment in an asset, Bitcoin, digital capital. The capital investment accretes over time faster than the dividend. We then monetize the capital gain and we pay the dividend. We think that the best way to punctuate this, to make it very clear, is to make the point that the company doesn't have to sell common stock ever. We can simply sell highly appreciated Bitcoin in order to pay a dividend. And if we do that, you're capturing a capital gain to pay a credit dividend. I think the analogy is like a real estate development company raises capital by issuing a credit instrument, buys land at $10,000 an acre, develops it, it's worth $100,000 an acre, and then they monetize that capital appreciation. You could sell the land at $100,000 an acre. You could rent the land after you fully developed it. You could refinance the land. But nobody questions a real estate development company that makes a capital investment with a credit income. What we're doing is the same thing with Bitcoin, and we want to make sure that the market understands that. I'm very famous for saying never sell your Bitcoin, and that's why the internet went crazy when we said we might sell it. But if I was being more precise, I'd say never be a net seller of Bitcoin. It just wouldn't have been so viral or so catchy to say never be a net seller of Bitcoin. I think that in these periods, even if we were to sell one Bitcoin, we'd be buying 10 to 20 more Bitcoin. So you're really talking about a situation where we buy 10 Bitcoin, sell one Bitcoin, buy 9 net Bitcoin, and continue to accrete Bitcoin. It should be a non-issue after people understand it. But right now it's a colorful area of commentary.
Is it?
That is interesting. What do you guys think about that? Anthony, what do you think about that?
Well, it's kind of like what we just said, or like what I just stated was that, he's selling, and similarly, the same thing with Trent. It's like you're selling the top to take the profit. So you're skimming the profits off the top to support the bottom, which isn't technically the bottom with Stretch, but he's able to utilize Bitcoin, the volatility within Bitcoin, take the profits off the top, roll it into the bottom, pay those dividends. Because the way Stretch is going, it's going to have a high, good possibility to really become a entry for people. A lot of people to be in Bitcoin. People get into it. They're going to be like, I can gain this percentage over a period of time, especially a lot of the TradFi guys. And then eventually they're going to learn and be like, well, I'm doing this, but why wouldn't I be in Bitcoin, which is the thing that's supporting all this, right? So, but I think what he's doing, I don't see an issue with it. I don't see it, but it's exactly what we said. It's exactly what he's doing.
Trent.
I think I'll even take it a step further because he just looked at it at the raw numbers, and it's 100% right. If you're to acquire capital, you're giving away 11%, but you're acquiring capital that's appreciating at over 30. It's a net a net capital of 20-some%. You do that all day long. That's free money. But I think I'd take it even a step further. If you make it attractive to bring in new people, because this shuts up those guys that are like, it's a Ponzi scheme, blah blah blah. It makes it more legit. So now the 10 guys that weren't going to go into it, now it's safe in their eyes. It's going to attract more business and you're going to bring, they're going to be able to acquire even more Bitcoin. It's almost like a flywheel.
Yeah, the big flywheel effect. They always talk about that. Yeah, I completely agree with you guys. I agree with everything you guys just said, but here's what I see. Because everybody sees things differently. I'm gonna tell you what I see. Number one is because everybody was going crazy that are either pro STRC, anti STRC, whatever. First thing is they haven't sold one sat yet. Okay, that's number one. They have not sold any. Okay. Number two, I think Vic, quote unquote, goof of work podcast. The goof part comes from Jerry, obviously. Well, you're probably going to think I'm a goof for saying what I'm getting ready to say, but thank you to Troll. I appreciate the compliment. Is that again? He hasn't sold any, but what I'm seeing is everything he said. I agree with, but free money, difference between what they're charging and what they're getting and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I just feel like if it's too good to be true, sometimes it's too good to be true. And I think what he's doing is he's trying to hedge on, okay, I think he really meant when he said, don't sell your Bitcoin. I don't think he meant the net stuff and all that. He really meant that, right? And when he
didn't even exist at that time.
Right, true. And then when all this stuff happened, when he put this thing together and all this stuff, he goes, okay, I got to figure out this flywheel situation, right? And say, okay, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get more Bitcoin? I got to get more Bitcoin. And then when he put it together, again, it's a great plan. It's a great situation. 11.5%. People that can't spell Bitcoin are going to do that. They're going to get into it, right? The problem is, again, paying that high yield and Bitcoin being as volatile as it is, he may say, well, you know what? We may have to sell some just in case we do. If we have to sell some, then I want to put it out there before we sell it. So that way we can put this is how I'm seeing. I'm not saying this is right. I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing on my simple little pea brain. He's putting it out there, say, if we have to sell in 6 months, I've already told people we're going to sell. So if we do sell, we're going to come back and get more. Because at the end of the day, they have 818,000 Bitcoin right now, guys. Okay? So let's say he sells 10,000 or whatever the hell he has to sell. Who gives a shit, right?
The market will tank that day too.
Right. And it's like, so I think because of that, the market volatility and everything else, it's like, you know what? Let's not rock the boat too much. Let's tell people before it happens, and we'll see. He may not sell a set. Who knows? But I don't know. What do you guys think about that take?
I got add on to that. He's not, King Emperor Sailor. He has people to be accountable for. Like MSTR is not just, a paper thing. Those are shareholders that he has to perform for. And if that is to sell Bitcoin to make MSTR go up, we don't like it, but that's his job.
I don't know. I think it's straight gangster. Think about it. He's utilizing Bitcoin for everything of what it is, though. Like, he's utilizing it for the property aspect, or obviously the properties of Bitcoin. He's utilizing it as a way to get people dividends over a period of time. He's being able to sell the top, buy the bottom. He's able to cover every aspect of what the TradFi system tries to do. And he's doing it with a fraction of what he has. That's powerful.
And to add on to that, nobody blinks an eye when BlackRock sells billions of dollars in a day. Not an eye. But a private company who has basically he needs to be in the black. Like that's. But people freak out, and he'll, like you said, he'll probably sell one, get 9. I mean,
yeah, the normies. I don't think the normies will care if he sold. It's just us crazy Bitcoiners
Yeah.
And some normies will care. But at the end of the day, you know, he's got the most. And again, he says this before, he's been on record saying this. He goes, look, man, we're not going to be on a Bitcoin standard like this, right? We're still in the TradFi world, and people want yield on their freaking money. That's what they want. They don't. Some people don't want to invest. They just want to put money into a savings account and not lose in inflation. And again, I don't call it 11%, 11.5%. I call it 4.5%, because it's really 7% inflation, 4.5% on top of that. But here's the thing, man. I like what he's doing because he's backdooring, in my personal opinion, he's backdooring Bitcoin adoption. He is. Because if you have MSTR, and again, STRC, and you can't spell Bitcoin, you don't know what the hell it is. And all of a sudden, after 6 months, 9 months, 10 months, because it's variable, it could go from 11.5 to 11.25, 11.7, whatever. And you're getting all these high ass yields. You're finally going to go, what the hell is this thing? What's the machine that's underneath causing this? And then you go, Bitcoin, what's that? I can't spell that. So they'll look it up, see what's going on, and go, wow. And then they'll start looking at the guy who owns this STRC. Oh, it's Michael Saylor. Oh, it's Strategy. It's this and that. Next thing you know, you're down a rabbit hole, right? So he's backdooring not only to buy more Bitcoin for himself and his company, but I think he's going to be slowly but surely orange pilling people in the on the back end. That's how I see it.
You're not wrong. I agree with you 100%. I will say that in the beginning with Stretch and everything, I was so easily and so quick to dismiss it.
Told you.
But now that I understand it, and as good Bitcoiners do, as we do our due diligence, you start to understand and see, and you hit the nail on the head. It is a great form of just funneling in the normies, the TradFi guys, the people who started with 5%, now they're 50%, and then keep on going. 100%. I agree with that. This is spot on.
Even to add on to that, Stretch is its own category. It's what you'd call an income, an income-based dividend, and that's a couple $1 trillion market by itself. Like it's its own category.
Yes. And again, no when you're receiving interest or whatever, there's going to be risk, obviously. But to me, the risk that you're taking, and again, I don't know if it's FDIC insured. I don't know about all that, Trent. You can tell me.
No.
But high yield savings accounts are what, 4.5%, 5%, whatever they are.
Even lower now.
Yeah. So there's just, in comparison, there's just no product like this out here. You know what I mean? 11.5% for, not saying doing nothing and no risk, but it's like, again, even if you're not a Bitcoiner, if your financial advisor puts this on your table and go, look at this, right? It's not a crazy this and that. It's just because he wants it to be like a savings account. That's what he wants it to be. And people just want to park their money so they're not losing their purchasing power. And I think it's a great way to do that. Sometimes you just need a MSTR or to STRC, that little Miss Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Yes. It's okay to adjust as you learn different things. That's what Bitcoiners do. Yeah. He's pivoted, respectfully so. He's pivoted on not trying to orange pill people. We just received 3,000 sats, guys. Thank you very much on my account. Have you got the one pulled up?
Yeah.
I finally caught a live stream. Split this with the boys. Spaceman. Thank you, Spaceman.
Thanks, Spaceman.
Appreciate that. That is going into the Truth to Work podcast strategic reserve, sir. You got anything on your end, Backpacker?
Confirmed from Spaceman. Actually, I have 2 from Spaceman. Finally caught the show. Finally caught a live show. Back to back. Both 3K sats. Both of them at 3K sats. 6K total. Spaceman bringing the heat.
So 9,000 Satoshis. Thank you so much, Spaceman. We appreciate that, bro. And if you guys want to help the channel and help us grow, obviously there's a poor man's plan. You can share the video, hit the subscribe button on the channel when we get it on there. and share these videos. And Trent does a really, really good job working hard behind the scenes to not only putting this stuff together, but he also edits every Monday. We're not sure if he's going to be able to do it Monday. What's that?
Might be paused for a minute.
Yeah, because he's having little technical difficulties, but it's all good. But for those of you that joined in late, we just want to wish all the ladies, all the mothers, a happy Mother's Day. Without you, we would not be here. That's for damn sure. So we appreciate y'all very much, and we thank you so much, so much. Now, guys, we have a crazy week coming up. I don't know if you guys know this. Next week's schedule is insane for markets. Look at this, guys. Monday, Warsh becomes new Fed chair. We got a new Fed chair, guys, since what? What's it been? How long has he been in 2018?
Yeah, something like that.
Tuesday, US CPI report. Wednesday, FOMC chair speech. Thursday, Fed balance sheet. Friday, Trump meets with Xi. Get ready for the most volatile week of 2026. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I was going to even go, what do you feel about Powell not giving his seat up? Like, it's never been done before. They've always retired off the board after they got off chairman, so they didn't have influence on decisions.
Yeah, he's going to sit in one of the governor's chairs, right? One of the chairs. So he's actually not technically, I mean, he's not in charge, but let's just say he's going to have his say-sos. And again, for those who are saying that this right here, the Fed is not controlled by political situations, you are a dumbass and don't understand how the Fed works. Okay? Just look up when they raise and lower interest rates and everything else. These people right now are working for the Democrat Party. I don't give a shit. Now, Kevin Warsh right now, and this is so stupid when they say this, and I'm going to let you talk in a second, Backbacker, and I got to say this. And this is what we're going to hear from, I'm just telling you right now, this is what the Democrat, the liberal media, and the nonsense is going to say this week. Oh, Kevin Warsh is a puppet. He's Trump's this and that. He's only going to do what Trump says. Well, I hate to break the news to you, liberal media. If I was running a company and I voted for somebody that's either going to be in my treasury or my whatever department, any kind of department, I want him to be aligned with me or I'm not going to hire him. Why would a president have anybody in his staff, anybody in his office, anything that's not going to agree with him? You didn't say that with Joe Biden and everybody else. So again, back to what you're saying, Trent, because people just think it's just the Fed chair. It's not the Fed chair.
No, it was a whole cabinet.
Yes, it's a whole cabinet of people. I think his role is going to be diminished, but he's going to have something to say before it's all said and done.
Yeah, he's not ready to let those dew claws out, huh? He's still trying to ride it, baby. But, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, the Trump we have now, I know it's the Fed and Trump are two different entities in regards of how they're structured, right? We know this, Trump's aligned himself substantially differently, a lot different than in this term than he did his first term. His first term was kind of like he was like, oh, dang. Like, I got a bunch of corrupt people in here and everything. So he made sure that for not let that happen. Busy week, yes. Powell, it's got to have a little bit of sway within the Fed, within the Fed, the Fed chair and the panel. That much, hopefully not, but we don't know. We're not there. But it's volatility for sure. But I mean, I don't know. Like, the people who say it's not political, like, you can't watch this and say it's not political. Like, all these people are coming out and saying, Bitcoin isn't political. I mean, they've been saying it forever. They still say it now. Then why do they talk about it? Why is it talked about? Why is this Monday wash, Tuesday CPI part, Wednesday FOMC, Thursday Fed balance? So why are you talking about it? Why do they bring it up? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like the whole, this is all great. This is all news, volatility. That doesn't bother me. I don't even care about that. It's the people who sit here and say that politics and all that has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It's like the biggest, that's like saying it's 0.1 Bitcoin on my video or something. It's just something to catch a click. So they say, and so there's different stages of Bitcoiners, and every Bitcoiner is a Bitcoiner, but there's different stages of Bitcoin. And I do think that once you get to a certain prestige level of Bitcoin, then you understand that it's absolutely political. And we know that Bitcoin's going to do what it's going to do, and politics are always going to be politicking. It's never going to stop. But there is a bridge, and the more that this becomes mainstream, and the more normies, and the more it's used by Fidelities and all these people, all these institutions, and the more it kind of just that bridge starts building, the more political it is going to be. We ain't seen nothing yet. Nothing yet. And, to sit here and think that, the market it can be manipulated. Everything has a form of manipulation. Unfortunately, it takes us some bigger numbers to manipulate this market. It's going to take a massive amount of strength and power, but who has that? I mean, yes, we have the adoption circle of the retail investors of us, people like us, the people who actually really matter within the space. But then you have the bigger players who are buying hundreds of thousands or whatever of Bitcoin, and they're, whales, people we don't even know. So, anyways, all I'm saying is that it's absolutely political. This states it everywhere now, and people still try to say it. So I don't know. It's just sorry for the rant, guys.
No. Preach, bro. Preach. And again, this is a Bitcoin show, and we're talking about this. And all these days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you mark my words, guys. And I want you to mark this on your calendar. Watch the Bitcoin shows, and I guarantee you they will talk about all 5 of these things this week. You want to make a bet? All your favorite shows are going to talk about this. The Trump G meeting, the Fed balance sheet, the FOMC chair speech, the USCP live report, the CPI report. Wars becomes new Fed chair. We've already heard about him for the last 6 months. We talk about this stuff, right? Because it has to do with the economy and the markets. So it's a thing. So listen, guys, real quick. So Bitcoin's doing what Bitcoin does. We're at $81,529, okay, per coin. And it seems like to me that the bottom may have been in. Okay. I don't know yet. We're gonna look at Miss Lynn Alden talk about this, and we're gonna talk about it on the back end. But it's we're crabbing sideways, but we're moving slowly but surely. We've been hitting the 70s, late 70s and the early 80s, and now I think we hit 82 today, if I'm not mistaken. So let's hear what Lynn Alden has to say about the bottom about the bottom being in. Let's check it out.
And suddenly all this new. I think it's a few steps. So historically, Bitcoin tends to have these kind of longer, flatter bottoms than, say, certain stocks, because there's no like a stock, for example, can have like an earnings catalyst every 4 times a year. It comes out with an earnings report and can surprise to the upside, and suddenly all this news comes in and just the stock soars, because Bitcoin is money. It doesn't have earnings, and so the news tends to change a little bit slower around it, especially now that we already have things like spot ETFs and stuff.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, guys. Ralph just sent in a zap. Thank you so much, Ralph, of 3,000 sats. And he says, watching at work, happy Mother's Day to the mothers out there, Ralph. Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you so much. A lot of sats, my friend. Thank you.
I view it less as kind of these upside news events and more other factors, which is one, you see over time you see a rotation of the fast money's already out, so you get seller exhaustion. Now, whether it's already entirely out yet, still is an open question. Like, it's just like my base case at the bottom is in, but it might not be. But at least a lot of the fast capital is already out. We've seen kind of coins rotate to more strongly held hands. I think that's a really important kind of factor in kind of building the next base. And then 2, changes in liquidity, right? So if you don't have energy shocks that are causing liquidity shortages and potentially forcing entities to degross positions from a trading perspective, then that starts alleviating Bitcoin. If you see governments do energy stimmy checks, for example, and just kind of like money supply starts accelerating in various capacities, that can find its way into scarcer assets.
Well, I never heard about that. I never even thought about the energy stimmy checks, and we also maybe getting those $2,000 refund tariff checks. I don't know, but
Keep
we'll see.
dreaming, bro.
Yeah.
I can find us, that's what the gold enthusiasts are looking for. That's what the Bitcoin enthusiasts are for. That's why some people are willing to hold really top tier stocks, even at kind of inflated valuations, because they say, well, I'm not going to bet against the money printer, so I want to own the scarcest things, even if occasionally they're richly priced. And the good news about Bitcoin is that it's not really richly priced at the moment.
Facts. Trent, what do you think about that, brother? Do you think? Do you agree with Miss Lynn Alden? And is the bottom in? Pause.
Bottom's not in, but I think we have another peak and a bounce, maybe in like the 70s again. I don't think it's going to be soon. I think we're going to ride a decent high for a little bit, but I think we got another bounce in there. If there's stimmy checks out, I don't want to even be quoted on it. Yeah, that's probably going to give us a pretty good rise. I don't see them coming. Trump actually walked back the. I never said there was a tariff check coming. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So, yeah, everything she's saying is facts. Basically, it's just standard market stuff.
Bro, Lynn hits it.
Mhm.
Lynn's a G. I love the way she explains things. I need to read her book. But yeah, I agree. The stimulus check thing, that's still up in the air. That's totally up in limbo right now. And I know the idea of it's great. I mean, it is what it is. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it. You're not going to take it and throw it in the garbage. You're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to go stack some more sats, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact. Real quick, Jenny Legendary with a 1, 2, 3, 4 zap. Jenny's in the house. But yeah, I mean, I agree, Trent. Like, I think that as Bitcoiners, we're not chart boys here, but as Bitcoiners, sometimes we don't zoom out. And yeah, on the month, we're at higher highs and higher lows. But if you zoom out to the year, you kind of see a different picture. But I do think that this is a fake out. I think we're going to go back down. Now, respectfully so, where are we going to go to? Could we go back down to the 58K gang, as we all love to say, because it's such a talking point. But I would love for it to go there. Absolutely. But I think to go back to the 60s, I think it's realistic. 100%. There's a lot of support and resistance in this level we're at here. And several weeks now ago, when we were doing projections of pricing, and me and Trent were kind of setting this framework of a high and a low, and we're kind of 81.5 right now. We're at the high of what we were talking about. We're at that, so now we're getting that resistance. So if it was a bust past, like, if it went up to like 85, 86, I think that when things can get interesting there. But if we're still sitting here, this is a resistance band we're in, and so we're just hitting the top. So and the seller exhaustion. So,
and it took a lot to even hit 80. It was weeks and weeks of us just bouncing off 71, 72, 73. I mean, we tested every resistance level, and I don't even see us not jumping back down in next week or so. Actually, with all the news right there, it's either going to go this way or it's going to go straight back down. Just depends how they want to spin it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I know. Sometimes I get a little bit into when I make my prediction of what I want to happen. You know what I mean? It's hard not to. I have no idea, man. Like, we topped off at, what was it, 126 in October. And could we do a double top? Could we get, hit all the numbers, 85, 86, 87, and then go all the way up to 126 and go back down? I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, because we've done it before. We've done double tops. We did that in 2021. So I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is I'm buying every hour on the hour, and all three of us do that. And I highly suggest You guys don't have to use our links, but either River, Strike, or whatever, the best way to buy, the best DCA and smash buying is every hour on the hour. So I want to show a clip of Jack Mallers before we go. He's talking about Wall Street and Bitcoin. So let's take a look at this and see what he says.
My one word answer to that's no. If Wall Street getting into Bitcoin kills it, it was never going to be successful in the first place.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's, in my opinion, is predicated on this idea that it is money for all. And the all part should be explored. That means your enemies too. That means, the ex-wife that cheated on you. That means your neighbor that's a fan of the opposing football club. Like, that's everybody. That means nation states that are your enemies, nation states you're at war with. That means for all. And the philosophical idea for me is that money is property and is a fundamental right. Again, it's your time and energy in an abstracted form. And if that responsibility is ever delegated to a person or a government or a company, they can debase money, they can debase you. And so I think that needs to be an independent property that has property rights. And so, yeah, anyone should be able to get into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin should succeed no matter their intentions or their usage. And if that's not the case, then we've built and designed a product that is flawed. And so I don't believe that to be the case. And I believe that Iran and Russia and China and the United States and Wall Street and cypherpunks can all use this thing and work on this thing, and it's going to succeed no matter what. I mean,
I love that. I absolutely love that. I love freaking Jack Mallers. If I had to pick anybody to go on freaking Joe Rogan, we were talking about this on the
that'd be a
porch.
good pick.
It'd be Jack Mallers. What do you guys think about that clip?
Oh, Jack the way he explains things, stuff is just like dude, it's amazing the way he explains things. It just blows my mind every time. I literally transpired to like be able to explain stuff as good as he does, and he has youth, which is really important, because as this thing goes, him being young now, down the road, you want that. But real quick, we got a zap again we got a 1, 2, 3, 4 zap, and it states, "This is from Troll Boy." So we appreciate all the zaps, guys. It was beautiful. But Jack, can I just say ditto? Everything he said, yes, 100%. It's for the drug dealers. It's for the cartels. It's for the moms, the dads, the kids have lemonade stands. It's for, the kids rolling dice on the street. It's for everybody. It's for the teachers, the janitors, like you go down the list. I love it. I think it's great. And it's true. And the way he executed and said that is fundamentally beautiful.
I like when you get a clip and it gives you like an idea, like in your head. Like the whole time he's talking, I'm like bouncing a question off in my head, trying to figure out if I was going to ask it. But basically, hypothetically, the U.S. government outlaws Bitcoin. Would you have enough conviction to keep using it illegally? Or would you move away from the United States? What would you guys do if that was like, it's never going to happen. I get it. But that hypothetical, would you get into that?
Well, let me stop you right there. First of all, that was a fucking great question. That was a great question. And I disagree with you saying that won't happen.
Oh, okay.
I think if the Democrat Party, as is constructed today, there is a good chance they would try to do that. Okay? So what would I do? I don't want to go to prison.
No.
So we would probably go to Southeast Asia until MAGA or some Republicans or anybody with common sense got back into it. But yes, I love my country. But if our country got captured and they did that kind of thing, which again, the Democrat parties, again, as currently constructed, let me just say this real quick. When I talk about Democrats, I'm not talking about your old school Democrats. I'm not talking about Republicans, George Bush and all this. This is not your grandfather's Democrat Party. This is a completely different animal. It's a completely different monster. If this just is regular George Bush versus Barack Obama, which when all the BS started, George Bush was a terrible Republican. I don't like George Bush. Okay, I'm not a Republican versus Democrat thing. It's not about that. It's about common sense and the grounding and the foundation of this country. And the great question Trent just asked, that goes against our fundamentals. So if that's the case, I'm leaving because I'm not going to go to prison for it. I love my country, but this is not our country anymore. So me personally, yes, I would still fight for Bitcoin, and yes, I would go to another country and still fight for our country to get back and say, hey, we can't do this. So yes, I would. That's a great question, Trent.
What about you, Anthony?
You already know my answer.
I know.
Straight up. Bitcoin ain't changing. Bitcoin is staying. It ain't going anywhere. We're keeping with it. If we got to transact on the down low and kind of play that game, if that was to ever happen, then you got to do it. I would love mixers. I would love being ways to disguise your Bitcoin. Maybe new things will be built to be able to disguise our Bitcoin. Because it is ledger based. Maybe we get a movement that comes along to where we're like, hey guys, we need to now take what we have, wash it, disguise it, shield it, whatever and that's why we say people that build are important. These individuals, these guys that are developing the code and building this stuff, we need to protect those guys, the samurai wallet guys. That's why we don't take that serious enough, because these innovators, these developers within the space, when situations like this arise, we are going to be at their feet begging them to do something about this, to help out, right? So that's number one. We got to protect the innovators. Number two is moving abroad. We already know, all three of us, we align on that. I mean, that's deuces, bye, gone. We're out, and to piggyback off of that exactly, I'll speak for everybody in the chat. Get your passports, okay? Get your passports, secure yourself, okay? Digital security, we know, okay? You guys want to come to Bitcoin, you go to Jerry, you want to know about politics, how Bitcoin ties into political angles and political ways, you go to Jerry. You come to me, I'm coming medicine, I'm coming psychology, bridging the gap, Bitcoin to life. Jor is killing it on the security end, okay? And Trent is going to be the number one guy to be following for expat. Taking your security with you, development in other countries, and how you don't need to be here in the United States to be successful. And you don't have to stay rooted here. You can take your coin everywhere, and it goes a hell of a lot further in other places. So, yeah, man. So there's a lot of different angles to that, but and some people will stay here and fight the digital battle with the government. So we're all going to be coming from different angles. How each one of us is going to approach it, where we see the risk and everything, that's going to be determined on the individual. Some people have kids, some people don't. Some people have roots that they cannot leave here. But if that happens, game on, boys.
Throwing your question right back at you, Trent.
I could go anywhere with it. That's the issue. It's my question. I've been thinking about the security side of going over to Southeast Asia with your multi-sigs. Like, as a trip, never do it. If you're moving it, there's no reason not to bring it all with you. Work on the security end, that kind of permanent stuff. I'll have videos on that eventually. But would I move? Yeah, I'm already moving anyway. That's really not the issue at that point. They already tried. I can't remember the name of it. It was like Tornado something. It was like a protocol where you would send in your Bitcoin. They would break it up, send it to a bunch of multi-wallets, and then you would return different, the equivalent amount, but different Bitcoin. It wasn't the original one you sent. So it messed up. That was it. Yeah, I couldn't remember. But a lot of those guys went to jail for that protocol. I know they got a bunch of pardons when Trump got back in, but so it's not as easy as just washing it in the Lightning Network or something. So yeah, I'm moving.
Yes. We already knew the answer to that. Okay, great. Well, everybody, thank you guys so much for joining us. That's our time today. We really, really appreciate you. Happy Mother's Day to the ladies. And everybody said their final words. You pretty much said your final words, Anthony. You did too, Trent. But I hope you guys have a great week. I have a question for you guys. You hold other cryptos or just Bitcoin? We don't even say that C word, sir. No, we do not, the gambler.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want to speak for Trent though. Trent.
No, I'm a shitcoin. What is it? Was a shitcoin addict, and now I'm in recovery. So far, I have been over 367 days since my last shitcoin. So I'm doing good.
I love that. That's so funny.
Backpacker.
No, bro, none here. But to piggyback off of Trent, yeah, I think we all shit coined at one point in time, and you look back at it, and it was just, we've grown so much, guys.
I lost so much money for that lesson.
Only the big B here, or the big S, Satoshi.
Yes. Yeah, so that's to answer your question, the gambler. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We really, really appreciate you guys. Have a great week. Again, Trent may be doing a live tomorrow.
I might do it on the laptop. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. He's going to edit and cut up this video here. So thank you guys so much for joining us. We see you during the week, obviously, with our videos and channels. Keep your head on the swivel, guys. And remember, Bitcoin is the way, guys. It just is. And, we know that the system is broken. It's all messed up. And there's only one way to fix that, all right? Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next one. And until then, and as you guys know, we love each and every one of you. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.